Y'all come on in now. Door ain't even locked. Screen door slams at 7 a.m. Coffee strong.
Just say I'm sitting there in the stand and that deer walked up there and stopped. I see the limbs. I see the twigs. Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to Papaw's place. As always, if this is your first time here, thanks for dropping in. Feel free to drop in anytime you feel. Guys, I'm at it again. Another rainy day. Been raining all day long. We done got about 2.5 inches today. And it's done rained like 3 different times to get that 2.5 inches and more coming. As you can see, everything I got out here is wet, because y'all know how I am if you watch me. I've been leaving my bow outside. My fletchings is soaking wet. But in the last few weeks, I have determined, I don't know how to say this, my era or my way in trad bow shooting. I think I'm a heel style fan. Now, yes, I like my little recurves and some of my, what they call them, hybrid longbows is alright, but to me, I think this is going to be me right here. Now, this here is the Outlander from Deerseeker. The only heel style bow I got. But as you can see, I done made it my own. I sanded it down and I stained it green, because I like green, just to do something to make it my own. Then I clear coated it, about 3 or 4 clear coats over it after I stained it. Even got the string there. Now I don't know how the stain's gonna do on the string. I didn't have any kind of green string making material at the time, so I just decided that black and white string, I could stain that white there green. And at the time, it looks good. And it's been hanging here for 3 days, getting rained on every day. So it's staying on the string pretty good. But I just love it. But today's video, now that I'm narrowing it down to really my top 2 bows I'm going to be hunting with, which is this one and my DIY homemade recurve bow, not this DIY. I may try to kill a deer with that one, but it's not in the top 2. This bow and my DIY recurve is going to be my main 2 hunting bows, I can tell y'all that. And I know things change, but I started when I compound all my life, which I played with recurves and bows when I was young, you know, as a kid. But then when I really got to hunting, it was, you know, compound all the way. Well, I didn't want to up and buy an expensive bow, so I started buying these budget bows. Because I wanted to get a feel and find what I feel is my way. And I feel right here the heel style bow is my way. But now I'm practicing. That's 10 yards to that target and there's 15. We're gonna walk out there. Look, I'm setting stuff up for hunting situations. So as y'all can see right there at 10 yards, I got a little brush top there. And there's a little twig. There's 2 twigs right here. I'm gonna have to shoot between that one, and I gotta shoot either between them or I gotta go right under that one to hit it right here. And that's what I'm practicing for hunting situations. Now out here at 15 yards, I stood up could be like a small tree with a fork. So to get down there, the object is don't be scared of this and shoot high and hit him up here in the backbone, or if you hit one right under the backbone, you pretty much ain't getting him. But trying to stay low without hitting the limb. Because when I go hunting, I want to be confident in my shot. So one thing about me has always been, I don't care if it's compound, it's with a crossbow, it's with your rifle, you squirrel hunting with a rimfire, whatever. If you ain't confident in your shot ability when you go to the woods, that's just a another monkey on your back that's going to cause you to miss deer. Where I hunt, I try to set up, especially back in the day, I like hunting close quarters, thick places. It wasn't many shots, and when it was a shot, you had to pick and shoot through something like that, and you couldn't be guessing it. You just had to have confidence, and you just got to do it. Now, as y'all see, my feathers is laid down flat. They're soaking wet. But that don't matter. Because if I hunt in this rain, now I don't do much of that no more, but back in the day, I didn't care. I'd sit there all day long in that climbing stand. As long as there wasn't no lightning popping, I'd stay out there. Put my little tree umbrella up. Didn't matter. But we're going to shoot 3 arrows right there and see how we do. See that there? That there, I'm too far back. That there, I hit the limb. That hit the limb, but now this is with practice points. But if that was a broadhead, see, that'd be terrible. I'm too high. I ain't getting it down there low enough under that limb. So the shot placement on them 3 arrows is no whammo for nothing, because the broadhead would have hit this twig or that twig on both of them arrows. That there is a little further back. It may have killed a deer, but it wasn't a good shot. It's a little further back. I just set that up. Y'all just seen the first shots through it. Now I got to do a little more focusing and stop talking. That there ain't good because it's a little high and the broadhead would have hit that top limb. That there's perfect. That there, see? Even though that looks like a perfect shot, it's a little bit high and the broadhead would hit that limb and kick that arrow down. Now you think stuff like this is easy, just focus on your spot. But that's the where you need to practice. Because you'll be focused on that spot, but then all of a sudden you're going to move them eyes and look at them limbs, and that's where I know I'm messing up. I need to focus on my spot. Just say I'm sitting there in the stand and that deer walked up there and stopped. I see the limbs. I see the twigs. Now I need to focus on the spot I want to hit and don't take my eyes off and don't worry about the limbs. Just like that. That's what I need to do every time, and that's what I'm trying to practice here. And it's all about do not let your eyes move to them limbs once you done picked your spot and say that's my spot to shoot. Just like that. That one's perfect. Both times in, I didn't take my eyes off the spot. That there would have been a little high. The broadhead probably would have hit the limb. Called myself keeping my eye on the spot, but it didn't turn out so well that time. You say, well, this is bad practicing with wet feathers. Well, let's just say you get up and you go get in your stand one morning and the bottom falls out. You know how these rings are. The bottom fall out 10 minutes and then it's gone. You soaking wet. Are you going to get down and come home? Or you want to trust your setup that it shoots even with wet feathers? It's just like trusting your shot. You got to trust your equipment for whatever situation. That there good. And there's good. After this, we're going to shoot at the 15-yard one. That there's a little high. Broadhead would have clipped the limb, kicked my air down. Seems like on the 10 yard, can't get it down there low. I need about 1.5 inches lower consistently. But now we're gonna shoot at the 15 yard. Again, this is where you gotta trust your shot. Deer's walked up there. And I'm one when I want to be confident in my shot, and sometimes some of the places, especially the refuges, I mean, you may have done sat there 4 or 5 hours and ain't even seen a deer, and one deer come out there and it stops like that 15 yards, and you're already looking at stuff in the stick. Ain't nothing gonna get no better. Do you take the shot, or you just sit there and let it walk on and say, well, I done wasted my day? I want to be where I trust myself enough to take that shot. And that's the way I was compound hunting. Now, I know it's different, but that's why I practice every day. See that right there hit the limb. That deer would have took off there. I could have just got down and went home. Shot to the left. All right, focus on the spot on the deer, Eddie. Don't worry about the limbs. That there would have got him. That there would have got him. That there is perfect. We're gonna go look at that and show y'all what I'm talking about. You see what I mean by saying trust the shot? Both of them right there would have got the deer. This one right here, nope, I shot the limb. I gotta give me some tape and tape that limb. Well, it done fell off now. Guess I'll leave that piece on there. But I ain't got much play right there. I mean, left and right, that's about 3 inches left and right. And about, I'm gonna say 3 to 3.5, according to where you at on this slanted limb. That ain't much play. 15 yards. But I want to be able to trust my shot. Guys, I have never been a social hunter. What I mean by social hunter, I ain't never been one that's gonna go, if I go sit in a deer stand 4 different days and I ain't got to shoot at the deer, I'm getting depressed. I'm like, I ain't out there to look at them. I ain't out there to watch them. I like to shoot. I like to kill. Always been that way, and I don't think you ever get it out of me. Also, I've been practicing. I don't know if y'all can see that little, let me see if y'all can see. I'm gonna walk out here. I got a mic on, so I'm gonna show y'all. The backstop's actually 12, slightly over 12 yards. But I got a pole sticking up here, and it's got a little yellow foam ball, and that little yellow foam ball, I done hit it a few times, but when it was brand new, it was like 1 1/8 inch, and I got it on a little bitty piece of wire. And I've been practicing how many times it takes me to shoot to knock that ball off. And I mean by knocking the ball off by hitting the ball, not by shooting low and hitting the wire. But that's something else. That's a different way to make your eyes focus. Occasionally I get on that platform out there and I just throw 2 or 3 things around at random distance. Because if a person gets used to shooting at one target, and believe me, I don't care if you compound or trad bows. This is my experience, and I'm just saying what I feel for myself. If I get used to shooting every day just at the same target, and I got on that platform and I throw just say a Coke can out there on the ground, it's like a whole different scenario. So that is why I like shooting my pace board something with a body style, because I hunt deer. But at the same time, I like practicing. Who knows, I may want to shoot a coon. I may want to shoot a bunny rabbit or something. So you got to practice on different targets, because it does something to my mind anyway. If I always just shoot the same target, and don't practice shooting at something else. We're going to sling 3 arrows at the little yellow ball. I think the best I've done, one day I knocked it off on the 4th shot. And then I had a couple times it was the 6th shot. Then after that, it was up there to 12, 13, and higher. I mean, it's just like that right there. The fletching looked like it touched it and shook the ball. That there looked like it went right down the right side. I mean, both of them perfect shots for shooting deer. It's just a game trying to knock that ball off. It makes you focus and tighten down. And that ball looks different being out away from that backstop than a spot on that target. And that's another point I was trying to make. It does something different about making you focus, being away from that target than just a spot on a target. If you ain't never done something like that, try it. Y'all see the little bucket to the side? That's my slingshot bucket. It's got the same little ball on it, but that's a bucket to catch the little steelies. And I sit here some days, play with my slingshot, which I ain't done in a while. Thought I just heard somebody here. I won't see them. But anyway, guys, that's it for today. I'm cooking some ribs, baked beans. We done lost another family member for the last, I guess in the last 8 months. My Newell family's going down quick. Seems like somebody's dying once a month. Appreciate y'all. See y'all on the next one.
Y'all come on in now. Door ain't even locked. Screen door slams at 7 a.m. Coffee strong enough to strip the tin. Dog asleep right on the welcome mat. Half a pie chillin' where the cat's at. Ain't no sign, ain't no phone line, ain't no clock that tells the right time. Every crumb got a story here. Every mess is crystal clear. This is Papaw's place. This is Papaw's place. The lawnmower parked right on the porch, dent in the wall from that old golf torch. Jar of pickles sitting on the TV says, don't touch them, they ain't ready. Ain't no rules, ain't no right way, ain't nobody gotta behave. You can stay till the rooster crows, you can wear the same old clothes. This is Papaw's place. This is Papaw's place. He don't care if you got no cash. He don't care if you crashed your trash. Just sit down, pass the bread and jam. Nobody judges who you am. Paint is peeling, floor is creak, but every crack is where love leaked. Ain't no place on God's green earth that ever felt this much like home first. Ain't no sign, ain't no phone line, ain't no clock that tells the right time. Every crumb got a story here. Every mess is crystal clear. This is Papaw's place. This is Papaw's place. Don't forget the pie now. Y'all come back real soon. Ha ha ha!